My dad, he always drank, so it was just hard for me to talk to him, especially since he moved a lot, since he couldn't really afford to stay in one place. But after he died, I became a kid that was just angry all the time. And over the years, I just learned to keep my emotions really hidden, so no one really knew what was wrong. I just became a monster, really.
When I was 10, my dad was married for the third time. We were that family that on the way to church, we'd just be ripping each other's throat out. And then we'd get to church and it's just, hi, good morning, how are you? Oh, we're great. Oh, just good to see you. God is so good. It was a Christian life. It was just a hypocritical, religious life.
In middle school, I hated pretty much everyone, and the one teacher I hated the most was the one I really noticed I had a problem. And I think she talked to my mom about Youth for Christ, and my mom was like, hey, how about we try this out? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I knew nothing about God, and I just didn't want to be surrounded by those type of people.
I was getting in trouble. My dad, after he had gotten divorced, I always wanted attention. My mom was never there, so I wanted to get it from somebody. And I sought after it through drugs and just took it from there. I started selling drugs, and I had this power now. If I have drugs, I can have people. And if I have people, then I have the void in my heart that's empty. And the loneliness that I was feeling, it would be filled if I would have, these drugs.
For 2 years or so, I just acted like I believed in it because I didn't really want to do it. But I'd say freshman year of high school, I started really believing because I started to learn more about God, and it just became a process to go to Him, really.
I was a junior in high school and I had 6 credits. I needed 42 to graduate. It was I was that far off the path. I went to 9 different schools and I couldn't keep my focus because I would find the druggies and I would forget about it. And so I would do that and my dad would just scream at me. And just one day he came and he said, you know what you're doing is wrong. And you know that's not how I raised you. And you got 2 weeks to make up your mind. I found a military school. I kind of was brushed it off. I was high at the time, when he told me. And then it really hit me that night. It was I don't have anything. And after a week of thinking about it, I said, I'll go. He just gave me a big hug and proud of you. And I didn't hear him say he was proud of me a lot. That was one thing that really it got me. And so to hear that, after all the mess that I've done, just to hear that was it was nice. It was nothing like what I'll hear one day in heaven, but it was nice.
When I first came to Youth for Christ, they gave me a mentor to talk to, and Jerry is my mentor. And one thing I learned right away is that he's a big goofball, and it was just really good to know that people actually cared about me. He's just a great guy, and he's dad to me, and he's just someone I could talk to if I ever have problems.
Through military school, I got involved with Youth for Christ, and it was God came in to me while I was here. Not like I had felt Him fake before, and that was it. I gave up. Sunday after Sunday, just through worship, I'd have to lift my hands to Him. I was only here because of Him, and just through Steve Newland, getting with him, he had seen some things in me, some giftings, and he called him out, and he said, I want you to speak one Sunday. And so I got to speak while in military school to all the kids, and that really is the start of it.
We went to the Dominican to help out at a orphanage and just hang out with the kids there. It was one of the best things ever, really. Just because seeing the smiles on their face, because it's they don't know you, but they're just glad you're there. And I just felt a whole bunch of love from the people there.
That's the only way I am where I am today. Through a worship service we had on a Sunday, I was able to rededicate my life and finally take God serious. And through Youth for Christ and through Steve Newland was the only way that I was able to actually grow, because we did these one-on-ones and we talked and we learned, and he answered our questions. He has an awesome team here. All Steve's people, they're just volunteers, and just that they were able to put that on for all these kids that come in here, it just shows hope, because if I could do it, coming from that, and now to see where I'm at now, it's just amazing, and it should give any other kid hope that they can come out of where they're at.
Me and my mentor, Jerry, we met up with Scott at a Burger King, and Scott asked me if I wanted to accept Christ, and I just kind of assumed it was God reaching out to me, and that's when I said yes, really. And after actually accepting Christ, I just started to think about the things I was doing, like smoking pot, and like how I just didn't want to really do that anymore. And a couple times, like I just started crying because I felt like I was loved, like out of nowhere. And it's just like stuff I haven't felt in like a long time, since I was always angry.
If Youth for Christ wouldn't have got in here, I probably would have stayed hard, and I would have stayed to myself. I wouldn't be a youth leader now. I'm a youth leader at our church in Sturgis, and it's just cool what happens when you kind of surrender and let God take over. It's sweet.
It feels really good now to know that I actually do have a purpose, because like back when I didn't really think that, I just thought that I was just a waste of space and no one would really care if I just died. Because like I used to cut myself in middle school, and I just wanted to die back then, and I'm learning every day to know more about what God wants me to do with my life. I'm really glad I came to Youth for Christ, and if I didn't, I don't know where I'd be in life.